Hi everyone, I'm Lisa.
Hi, I'm Natalie.
And we are Shady Tree Stitches
and Knitting at Stitches
on road trip to the Gathering Stitches retreat in Drouin.
Yoo-hoo!
Yay! So you've got us for another road trip video. Lucky you.
I know, it's going to be great. I'm really looking forward to this road trip.
Me too. It's been a year.
It has.
It feels like it's been longer than a year, but it's actually been just over a year since Nat and I did our road trip down to Tasmania.
Oh, so much.
Yes, it was. Yeah. Anyway, so here we are. We're off for it's
about 5 days we're away.
Yeah, well, me anyway, because I actually left last night on Wednesday night after dinner.
Yeah.
To go down and spend the night at Natalie's house in Sydney to pick up Nat.
Mm-hmm.
We're in my shopmobile.
Yes, no Tesla this time.
No, I would have loved the Tesla, but unfortunately, you know, having to take the shop.
She's not big enough.
No, she's not big enough for everything I need to take. But that's okay. So we're here. We're driving down the same boring highway you saw last time. So we thought we'd just check in and give you a little bit of a chat about what we're doing. So the Gathering Retreat is a new retreat being run by Jackie, who is one of our friends on Zoom.
That's right.
And she's
Gathering Stitches.
The Gathering Stitches, yes. And she's gathering people from wherever to come to the retreat. And I believe there's about just under 50 people coming, which is lovely size.
Yeah, it's a lovely size.
And the retreat starts at midday tomorrow.
That's right.
Midday on Friday.
Today is Thursday.
Yes, today's Thursday. And it goes till sometime on Sunday afternoon.
Yep.
Which is lovely. So today we are just heading down all the way to Drouin.
Yes.
Down the Hume. And we are just going to enjoy the road trip for the day.
Yeah, we've just left Sydney. We're probably there's still some bits of Sydney the outskirts of Sydney in front of us, but the big, heavy, populated area is behind us now.
Yeah.
And at the moment we've got just under 9 hours of driving ahead of us. So there's the two of us, and we'll be enjoying a time on the road together.
We will. So for the retreat now, what have you brought to stitch on?
Oh, I brought 2 pieces. One is one that I'm trying to finish, which is a Veronique Enginger advent calendar. It's an advent calendar that's stitched on a tea towel. So that's nice. It's on linen and nice big stitches, so it's going to be easy to stitch.
Yeah, and you've made so much progress on that lately, I noticed.
Yeah, no, it's good. I'm hoping for a retreat finish, but we'll see how we go.
Okay, well, I think I have my bell, so if Jackie doesn't have a bell, I've got one.
Oh, good.
I seem to end up bringing my bell to most retreats I go to, and it ends up being the bell, so yes. I've just now keep it as part of my stash.
Part of the retreat kit. And the other is a New Start, which is a Mojo Stitches. A is for aardvark, B is for balloon. They're little alphabet cubes.
Lovely, that
and that I'm stitching that on Ada. So again, a nice, easy on the eye to stitch.
Are they stitched in a single thread, or is there multicolours?
Those are stitched. It's 2 colours for those cubes. 2 colours for each cube.
Lovely.
Yeah, so it's a nice. It's quick.
Yeah,
which is good.
Quick is good for a retreat. Quick and easy with lots of time to chat.
Yes. What have you brought along with you?
Well, I actually have the intention, as I usually do, of stitching the retreat piece. So I know that the designer is Fuzzy Fox Designs.
Ooh.
And I know that it's being stitched on a piece of my garden It's either Makington Mint or Garden Meadow. I can't remember which one.
Oh,
One of my
lovely.
greens.
Oh, lovely.
So I think I will be stitching that.
Mm-mm.
But what have I brought along? Well, I have my retreat bag, which fits 4 pieces in it.
Yes.
I have got my Blueberry Homecoming.
Yes.
Sorry, see, I'm filming. I
Yes.
have not yawned until now. Blueberry Homecoming, which I'm wanting to finish hopefully this month.
Yep.
I have got my next model for my retreat to stitch. I'm doing an optional make your own notions box class again because 25 people coming are new, and there's about 17 coming who have been to one or other.
Yes.
So not all of them have done the previous notions box class, and this notions box has the flippy in the middle. So it actually has a cross stitch design, or 2 cross stitch designs to go with it. So I'm looking forward to doing that, and I've got the designs done, and I just have to
I need to sign up to that.
You might have to, Nat. I think you will like this one.
Ooh.
Plus you'll definitely like the flippy notions box.
Yes.
So anyway, so I've got that I need to stitch this week, and then I've also got in the bag the Mirror Mermaid.
From the Mirabilia retreat.
Yes.
Earlier was it this year? Last year. This year. It was February this year.
It was our first retreat this year. Yes.
Mm.
It was the last time we went on a trip.
I was there, but we didn't road trip.
No, but we went together. Last retreat we went to together.
That's right.
Not that we physically
No.
went together, but we were out together.
Yes.
And sitting together. So, and then I also have my bedroom stitch count because I'm behind and it needs to get caught up too. So,
yeah.
So I have 4 pieces already plus the retreat piece. So I'm not worried about running out of stitching. And in reality, I will get stitching done, and I'm hopeful I'll get a fair bit done at this retreat. But you know, I do have the shop to man and people to talk to, and I love the fact that when I'm at a retreat, I get to help people pick colours and threads and all those sorts of things. I just love doing that. So
it's really fun.
It's fun.
Yeah.
So who knows? We'll see.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm stitching on. That's what I'm looking forward to. I think a lot of the people coming I may already know from earlier in the year at the Vic Stitches retreat.
Yes.
Or JK's. But yeah, there's people coming from all over. It's just wonderful that we have so many retreat options now.
It's so good.
It's funny though, when I was away last weekend, I met a girl who I have not met before in person. And she has been to 2 retreats this year.
Yes.
And they were the only 2 retreats that I haven't been to.
Oh, which ones were they?
They were the Toowoomba one.
Yes.
And they were the Hobart one with Halloween with Fox and Rabbit and
yes.
Stitch in Time.
Yes.
So she went to those 2. I think I've been to every other one.
Yeah.
Anyway, we
You
find
can't go to them all.
three. I thought it was 3.
Yeah.
Glen Innes.
Glen Innes.
The
Yes.
Stitches Merchant Retreat.
Yes.
So the 3 I didn't go to are the 3 she's been to, but we finally met up at that one. Yes, so that was exciting to meet a new person who's a very enthusiastic stitcher.
Right. Now, here's a question for you. If you were going to a retreat for the first time and you'd never been before, what's some good advice for somebody going to a retreat? What can they expect?
Okay, well the first thing I would feel if I was just normal stitcher going to a retreat at the first time, I would be feeling very nervous and uncertain and worried about, would anyone talk to me? Where would I sit? What would I do?
Yeah.
That would be the way I would be approaching it. So what I would want to do is when you get there, look around. Depends what time you get there.
Yes.
Because if you get there first, well then you're just going to pick a spot and then other people are going to join you.
Yes.
As a new person, might be better to just wait a little bit longer.
Yes.
So, because if you don't know anyone, everyone will welcome you to their table.
100%.
Look, there might be 1 or 2 tables that has got a known group of friends and they're all taken.
Yes.
That's fine, but there will be a spot at a table somewhere and you just look around the tables and you go, who looks the friendliest to me.
Yep.
And you go and say, excuse me, is this seat taken?
Yeah.
And they will say yes or no, mostly no, please join us. And so you sit down there, and before you know it, you have a new table of stitching friends.
Yeah.
My advice would be,
what sort of things should you bring?
Yeah, would be to bring an easy piece to stitch. Like Nat was saying, the 14 count Ada blocks is a perfect thing I would take as a first time stitching retreat person.
Yes.
Because you just don't know how much you're going to get distracted by chatting to people.
Oh yeah.
And you might not get distracted at all. I would probably bring at least 2 projects.
Yes.
Contrasting projects, but nothing too hard. Like, I wouldn't do a Jenny and bring a Teresa Wenzler.
No,
not for your first one.
That's pretty ambitious.
Some people can manage to stitch on those at retreats very well, and like I know at the Daisy Chain there was a lady doing a chatelaine, but she's been to many.
Yes.
So I would make sure you have got a light.
Yes.
That can either be plugged in with the plugs you need. I would bring a power board and maybe an extension cord. Not everyone needs them, and some retreats have them, but if you've got the space, again, it depends on how you're traveling.
Yes.
But if you've got a car and it's got room, chuck them in the boot.
Yep. Because
you just don't know whether your table's going to need that extra extension cord. And if you have it, then that's really handy.
Yes.
Spare needles.
Spare needles, always good.
Although at a retreat it's okay, because number one, there's probably a vendor selling them, and number two, there's plenty of people at your table who would have one you can borrow/have.
That's right.
And whatever magnification you may or may not need.
Yeah, whether it's bring your stitching glasses or bring a magnifying glass or something like that.
One thing I would say though is keep in mind that you may not have a lot of space at the table.
That's right.
So I wouldn't be recommending bringing huge bags or a huge frame. Often the Lowry's fine, floor or desk.
Yes.
Sometimes the venues are a bit tight for a floor, so you may want to ask that question of the organiser first.
Yes.
But the clampy ones are usually perfectly fine anywhere.
Yes.
Or any other similar version. But like a big wooden frame, even for the desk, like I'm thinking like a scroll was sort of one. I wouldn't bring that if you can help it, because that might take up more space than there is. Because tables can have anywhere from 4 to 10 people on them.
That's right.
And that can make a huge difference to your space.
Yes.
And I would make sure that you have got some snacks.
That's right.
Again, depending on what your retreat is offering.
Bring your scissors and a hoop or a Q-snap.
Yes.
If that's what you use.
And also, I recommend bringing a small one.
Yes.
Because often the retreat patterns are small on purpose, because people do like to stitch them at the retreat.
Yes.
So like an 8x8 or a 6x6 size frame or hoop is often very handy. If you do want it, because usually you get some sort of a swag bag, goodie bag.
Maybe some floss drops.
Yes, you might want to. Yeah, well, you might want to bring, if you have some floss drops you've made or something.
Yep.
Some retreats do table gifts for people who like to give their table mates a gift to say thank you for putting up with me for the weekend.
Yes.
And not all retreats do, and the good thing is,
and it's okay to not bring anything as well.
It is okay not to, but if you have something you can bring, just small, even like a needle minder, even like a little, like a packet of needles, and you wrap them up in a bit of a bit
tissue
of,
paper.
I was thinking, or glad wrap with a little ribbon around them.
Yes.
Even that's a nice gesture, just so that you've got something.
Yes.
So you don't feel embarrassed if you get given something and you've got nothing in return.
Yes.
But people will not think badly of you if you have nothing, especially as your first retreat.
Absolutely. This retreat doesn't have it, but some retreats have a smalls exchange. Would you like to talk a little bit about that?
Yes, a smalls exchange means that you are creating a stitched piece of work that is small, It's usually around, I'm going to say 50 by 50.
Yes.
As just a broad guide. It's usually around that size that you stitch yourself, and then you fully finish it,
Yes.
and you wrap it up and put it in a wrapping that suits the theme usually, and it gets exchanged at someone else will get that, so you'll be giving that to an unknown person, and you will get one from another unknown person.
Yes.
Occasionally the same person. It's funny when that happens.
Yes.
Often in the smalls exchange, people like to put extra things in.
That's right.
So you might like to put in,
maybe a tea bag,
a Freddo frog, a needle minder, whatever makes you tickles your fancy. Even something as simple as some ribbon or some trimming to use for FFOing.
That's right.
Can be a nice present to put in the bag, and just something that expresses you.
Yes.
So if you're from a particular part of the country that has a particular brand of honey, for example, maybe a tiny little pot of your local honey. That's always well received.
Yes.
So yeah, that's what a smalls exchange is. And then you get like randomly called out your name, and when it's your turn you go to the table and you have a look, and that's why we recommend wrapping them in something that gives away the clue to the theme.
Yes.
Because you might really love Christmas, and so if you see something with Christmas wrapping, you go, I'm going to get that because I know it's going to mostly be a Christmas ornament and my tree needs more ornaments. Or you might have an aversion to dogs, so you're not going to pick the piece with the dog.
Yes.
That sort of thing. That's the smalls exchange. Another thing that this retreat doesn't have, that most do, is a freebie table.
Yes.
And that's where you bring any stash that you don't need.
It might be something you've stitched before, and it's the pattern.
But it's the pattern, like if you made a working copy, it's your original pattern.
It's clean.
It's clean.
It's as good as new.
Yeah, as good as new. It's not the one you've scribbled all over and you've folded to death and you can't read half of it.
No.
It can be a couple of bits of fabric that you don't want. You just, somewhere along the line you overbought something, or you bought a mixed bag and there was this piece of orange in there and you detest orange. That's okay. Put it on the freebie table and someone else will love it.
Yes.
And you can also gather yourself some goodies from the freebie table.
That's right.
I do recommend doing frequent sweeps by the freebie table, because people put things on the table at multiple times during the weekend.
That's right.
Because it gets very full up on the first day, and then it gets cleaned out, and then it fills up, and then it cleans out. So you just never know, and you might find something that's been there since day one, just buried.
Yes.
Or you might be talking to your table mates, and then suddenly, something clicks, and you go, oh, actually, that designer, there was one by them on the table, and you can go and grab it.
Yeah.
So that's the freebie table. That's a fun thing to look at. I always try to not take more than I give.
Yes.
So I don't just go to a freebie table and clear it off. And as a new stitcher and a first-time retreat goer, often, it's like being a kid in a candy store. So my advice is to really assess it. Sometimes take what you want when you see it, and then go back to your table and re-look at it and mull it over and say, would I really stitch what's in here?
Yeah.
And if you think not, then put it back on the table.
Yeah.
Or you can do that when you go home as well and put it on the table at the next retreat. So I caution people not to be too much of a bowerbird from the freebie table, because often you get caught up in the moment and then you end up with a whole bunch of stuff at home that you really don't need.
That's right.
I speak from experience.
Oh yeah, we've all done it.
Yeah. What else do we have? Brag table, Nat. You're the good one to talk about the brag table.
Yeah. So it's a really nice way to bring something that you've stitched and finished, either fully finished or it's just completed the stitches, because it's a great way to see the work that might have inspired. You might have the chart at home, and seeing it finished by someone else might be the kickstart to you picking that piece up and getting it started or to finish it. It might be a project that you've got that's already started and it's, you know, languishing in a project bag under the bed or something like that.
Also, it aligns with what everyone always says when they go to an LNS.
Yeah.
When you see the models stitched on the wall, they look so much better than the photos.
Oh, so much better.
The brag table is like an LNS wall.
Yes. Yeah, so particularly if you're going to a retreat where a designer is there, if you've got some projects that are finished by that designer, they will really appreciate if you finished it. Bring it along, because the designer will also appreciate seeing how you have interpreted their design and brought their hard work into reality.
Yes, it's always wonderful to see. And also, even if you, like, some people say, oh, but I've made some changes. As designers, most of us appreciate your changes. We love seeing someone else's interpretation. You know, it might just be that you were stitching from stash and you were making do, or it might be that you suddenly had an epiphany about the fact that you always put a blackbird in your pieces, so you've charted a little blackbird somewhere in the piece.
Yeah.
You know, it's wonderful to see those variations.
Yeah.
What else do we have? Raffles.
Yes.
Now, raffles vary greatly depending on the retreat you're on, but there is usually some sort of a raffle and or lucky door prize at a retreat. Some of them you actually need to pay for tickets.
Yes.
Others you earn tickets along the way, or combination of both.
Yes.
So I would recommend you have a wallet that has got, you know, $10, $20.
Yeah, in cash.
So that you can buy some raffle tickets.
Yes.
And the lucky door prizes and things, you know, it's just luck of the draw, but it's fun. And you always end up with something. And worst case scenario, if you win a prize that you really don't like, number one, if you have a table mate you think particularly would like it, you can always give it away to them straight away. And silly truck decides to move out in front of us.
Yeah.
Number two, though, is you can always bring it back to another retreat and put it on the freebie table.
Yep, that's all right.
So there's always a way to repurpose things that you might get that you don't love. Because if you don't love it, why keep it?
Exactly.
As we say, to quote, what's her name?
Who?
If it doesn't spark joy.
Oh, KonMari.
Yes, KonMari. If it doesn't spark joy in your heart, it needs to go. So that then aligns me to the next thing, is that most retreats have at least a trunk show, a pop-up shop, or some sort of a vendor.
Yes.
Again, different retreats have different offerings. Some retreats have a lot of shop focus, a lot of vendors, a lot of variety. Others might be more exclusively focused on just one. Either way, you are bound to find something you want to buy, and it is really nice to support the vendors. I try and support each vendor at each retreat I go to, because I understand how much hard work and effort has gone into it.
Yes.
Plus the fact that they've had to pay the money to provide the stock.
Yes.
So I like to support every vendor by doing something at every vendor.
Well, that's a really good idea.
Yeah, you don't have to.
No.
But it's nice if you can. Now, sometimes there might be a vendor that has such a niche market that you have no interest in them whatsoever. That's fine.
Yeah.
Not a problem. You know, if you're not interested, then just walk on by, smile and say hello. You know, you might be interested enough to find out what it is and say, oh no, I don't think I can use that at this time, and walk on by, and that's fine. They're in a niche market.
Yeah.
Basically though, you might be up for quite a bit of money depending on what sort of vendors there are and what they've got. There we go. You might I mean, the best things to see at it is, in my opinion, is to see the models of designs.
Yes.
And to see the fabrics in person.
Oh, yeah, it just makes such a difference.
The best time to build up your stash is at a retreat, when you can get what you want. Speaking from my experience as Paddock Lane Designs, I cannot bring everything to retreats.
No.
Like, it does not matter if I dyed every colorway in every count, in every size, there would still be someone who missed out on what they wanted.
Yeah.
So what I tend to use the retreats for is I have a large sampling of fabrics that shows what I do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, 9 out of 10 times you'll find something that's good for what you want one for, or one you like, that you can use for something down the track when you find a piece for it. But you can see the colours, and if you have something in mind in a particular size and count, you can just say, right, yes, I want this colour in this size, and then mostly I'll just direct you to the website to order it.
Yeah.
And if you want, but I will do custom cuts. So if you need a custom size, you can talk to me at retreat, and we can work that out. So it's a good time to do it, but you get to meet people, you get to find out who's around, what they offer.
Yes.
I love seeing the needle minders in person, because you get to see the quality.
Yes.
Because there's different types of quality.
It varies.
It really does.
Yeah.
So there's different types of quality in needle minders. Same with like your scissor flop bling and stuff.
Yeah.
There's a huge range of that around. I don't know what it was doing there.
Not quite sure.
It's not sure. Anyway, the car's trying to drive, and it's I think getting freaked out by the truck next to us.
Yeah.
You're good to go now.
I know.
That's good. Anyway, so that's my advice for a new time person.
Yeah.
Other than that, clean up after yourself. Keep your
workspace tidy.
Yes.
Yes.
At the end of the day, just tidy it up. You can leave all your stuff there overnight usually, and it's perfectly safe to do so.
Yeah.
The stitching community is not known for being dishonest.
That's correct.
So
stitchers are nice people.
That generally they are, yes.
Mm.
And so you don't have to worry about things getting missing overnight. Plus the venues you're in. I mean, one, it's probably going to be locked overnight, but two, if Joe Blow walked into a stitching room, is Joe Blow going to want anything we have sitting there?
Yeah.
I think the only thing Joe Blow might see of any interest would be scissors.
Yeah.
Because Joe Blow would not know what anything else is.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about, a masked robber coming in and cleaning out all the stitching stash.
Yeah.
They don't know how much money is invested in our products.
No.
So it's that's my advice.
Yeah.
All right, well that might do us for now,
I think so.
and we'll be back to chat to you a bit later on the trip.
Yes.
Okay, so we are travelling down the Hume Highway, and we've travelled for quite a while. We've still got 3.5 hours to go. And
We're in Victoria.
We are in Victoria. We forgot to shoot the border for you, sorry.
Yes.
But that's all right, I'll try and catch it on the way home.
Yeah.
But Nan and I were just talking, and we realised that you guys might be interested in what we were talking about.
Yeah.
And that is, what cross-stitch retreats are there available in Australia?
Yeah.
Because this year has been the first year that they've all gotten into the swing of it, and there really is a plethora of choices to suit everyone's location, budget, genre. We're just passing a car that says almost married on the back. So we thought we might go through talking about what we know about that's coming up in the 2020 2025 season.
Yeah.
Or what we know about.
What we know about.
Based on what happened this year as well. We don't know all the dates off the top of our heads, but we know that, that's what I was going to look up, was when some of them are, so I can look up some.
Yeah.
A really good resource, and I'm not just flogging it because I made the group, but it's the Australian Cross-Stitch Retreats page.
Yeah.
That is a page that someone said we needed a page where we could put all the retreats so people could find them, and I waited and no one did it, so then I did it. And so there is a page there on Facebook that you can look at and see what is actually happening with the retreats. So I'm going to delve into there to have a look. So
well, we talk about the retreats that we've had this year.
yeah, sure. Starting with Mirabilia.
Let's start with Mirabilia. So there was a Mirabilia retreat in March. No, it was February. That was the first one. That was up in Brisbane. Nora Corbett came to Australia and visited Australia for a week and was hosted in Brisbane. I went and Lisa went. Plus, how many people were there?
I feel like 70.
I think so.
Yeah, about the 70 mark. And it was fun. And if you'd watched our previous videos, I know at least in my one, I'm not sure about your one.
I didn't do
I did a retreat special, and I realised all my retreat specials, I never know whether to call them a floss tube or not.
Yeah.
So I just do. I guess officially they're floss tube extras, but I don't. You know, where's the rule definition, people?
Oh, who cares? There are no cross-stitching police.
No. So yes.
Yeah. So there was.
So that was in February.
That was in February. Then in March there was the first cross-stitching cruise.
Yes, which was the one that I went on.
Yes, and
you went on, and we went on separately together.
Yes.
Again. We do that sometimes.
Yeah.
And we went to the Pacific Islands and had a ball. And again, you would have seen a video of that earlier on.
Yes.
And if you're interested, then just look back through the Shady Trees floss tubes for this year.
Yeah.
I don't think there was an Indian for that one either.
No, there wasn't. I was having some floss tube downtime.
That's okay. And then after that cruise, what do we have next? Trying to think.
Was there? Oh.
It would have been May, and there was 2 events in May. I think there was the Stitches Merchants.
That's what I was thinking.
Autumn.
Yes.
Autumn stitch camp.
That's right.
In May, and that's held at Glen Innes.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that for next year, it is going to be held in Glen Innes Town Hall again.
Yeah.
And they are bringing out 2, well, sort of.
Let's talk about that after we've talked about what we did this year.
All right. So the Stitches Merchant was in May, and I know some of our friends went to that and loved that.
Yeah, it's really popular. It's more about the samplers and prim stitching.
They had Fox and Rabbit as their designers.
That's right.
Gosh, was that May? It feels like not that long ago.
I know.
Then the following weekend was the Vic Stitches Retreat, which was down in Shepparton, thank you, which I went to. There is a retreat road trip for that one with our lovely friend Kim as co-pilot.
That's right, it was Kim.
Yeah, Kim was co-pilot to that one. After that would have taken us probably through to my retreat.
Stitching in the Mountains.
Stitching in the Mountains.
Retreat.
Yes, the winter retreat. Our experiment with going to the Blue Mountains in Blackheath in winter, and it was such a success that we are going to be doing it every year.
Oh, good.
So it was lovely. So that was Mojo Stitches and Paddock Lane Designs, and we have about 40 people at that retreat. It's nice,
really
boutique,
intimate.
Yeah, it's lovely. Then I'm going to have to go to the other calendar to work out. Let me get back to June. All right, so June, July, there was, it wasn't a retreat in Australia, but there was the Midsummer Stitching by Lindy Stitches was on.
Okay, it was a virtual retreat.
A virtual retreat, yeah. August was actually a very quiet month for stitching. Nothing happened, but then there was September.
Oh dear, September.
Okay, first one in September was on the weekend of the 13th or 14th, and that was the JK's cross-stitching retreat.
Yes.
Which was held down at the entrance at the Central Coast in New South Wales.
Yes.
It was huge. There was about 110 people there.
Wow.
It was a shop fest with the JK's cross-stitching suppliers shop.
Yes.
And it was heaps of fun.
And she also had Country Threads.
She had Country Threads and Fiona Jude as the designers for that.
Yeah.
And it was the first retreat both those designers had ever gone to.
Oh, wow.
Which is crazy to think of that. So they went to that one and had a ball, and she's going to be doing that every 2 years, so there won't be one of them next year.
Right.
The following weekend was the Daisy Chain Stitching Retreat in the Hunter Valley at Goulburn, which I can't see properly.
Yes.
run by the Daisy Chain Stitchery, lovely Teresa, and it was about 70 odd people at that one too, held in this beautiful old historic hall. And again, there is a Shady Tree Stitches retreat special on that one.
Yeah, I loved watching your retreat special for that.
I like that because every year we seem to have the same people come, so we get to do our interview of floss tuber with the same people.
Yeah, nice. I feel like we've missed one in there. There was another stitching cruise?
Okay, yeah, there was another stitching cruise, and there was also another retreat that may have been in September or October. I don't know when the other stitching cruise was because it's not listed, but somewhere around August, September,
yeah,
they went on the Gone Tropo stitching cruise.
That's right.
That was just up to Cairns.
Yes.
So the second lot of Australian stitching cruises, Janet organises those. The people who go on those tend to want to stay within Australian waters, not international.
Yeah.
So I know the next one they're planning is down to Hobart, I think.
Yes.
And then we had, there was also the Toowoomba. I don't know what the name of the Toowoomba Stitches was, but there was a cross-stitching retreat in Toowoomba. I know it was hosted by Number 12 Stitch Co, amongst others.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, so, and that from all the reports was a lovely retreat too.
Yeah, I've heard it was excellent.
I know they had designs from Mojo Stitches and another lady.
That's right.
Yeah, so that's really cool.
And of course, we've got coming up for the rest of this year, we have, of course, the Gathering Stitches retreat.
So last weekend.
Oh yes, last weekend
I was up in Brisbane, and obviously most of my viewers will know that because I've just posted the Cross Stitches of Brisbane retreat in Maroochydore,
yes,
and it's open to anyone. So that's usually around that time of year. This weekend we're currently on our way down to the Gathering Stitches in Drouin,
yes,
and this is a new retreat.
yes.
So yeah, the organiser's done a fantastic job from what I can tell from all my insider knowledge. But you know, she's nervously waiting to see how it goes before she commits to doing another one.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. And then in 2 more weeks' time after that, we have the second of the Stitching in the Mountains Summer Edition.
I'm looking forward to going to that.
Which is Mojo Stitches and Paddock Lane Designs up in Blackheath.
Yes.
And again, we have 40 people coming to that, of which 25 are new.
That's right.
Which is lovely, and that's why we run it twice, because it's so boutique and intimate.
Yes. We forgot the Halloween retreat in Hobart.
Hobart just happened last weekend, yes.
Yes.
In the weekend in between.
Stitch in Time.
A Stitch in Time hosted a Halloween retreat with Fox and Rabbit, and I must say, Karen from Fox and Rabbit was so in her element. She just loves Halloween and does the most superb Halloween patterns.
Yes.
So, yes, we had the Stitch in Time retreat.
And it was lovely to see the photographs from the event. People really got dressed up and absolutely lent into the spirit,
the Halloween,
the spooky spirit of the retreat as well, which was really lovely to see. Yeah.
So that's what we had in 2024.
Yeah.
Now this is going to be out of order, but it's just so I can give you the correct information. I'm going to have to navigate around the site.
Yes, but I'll go for it.
I love it. Can I just say, event organisers, if you can please create an event in the group, it helps people find the dates.
Yes.
So there's only a few listed here, but we've got the Stitching on the Border retreat, which is in Albury.
Yes.
It's happening on the 28th of February.
Right.
So then we've got the 2 cruises listed. The 27th of April to the 6th of May is the cruise that's going to the Pacific Islands.
That's right, that's the one we're going on.
That's the one we're going on this stage. And the next cruise that's advertised is actually the next within Australian cruise, but it starts on the 4th of January 2026 and it's going to Hobart.
Ah, yes.
Yes, so that's what's in the events. Now I just have to go scrolling through the posts to see what comes up. Okay, the event for 2025 is an online virtual retreat.
Oh, tell us about that.
The Great Australian Cross Stitch Shindig is an online needlework event showcasing Australian talents. We have a lot of talents in Australia: designing, vendoring, and floss tubing.
So you're saying it's online?
Yes, so the idea is that you log on online. It costs $10 a head to attend, and all the information is going to be released over the next month or so.
Is it open to only Australians to attend?
No, it's open worldwide. So
good.
anyone can jump online. We're running it over the Australia Day long weekend on the Sunday and the Monday. And the reason for that is because overseas it'll be Saturday, Sunday.
Oh, perfect.
Because we've got the public holiday on the Monday.
Oh, it works out really well.
Yep,
then.
so people can come for birthdays, they can come for one day, they can do whatever makes them happy. There's going to be lots of things for you to do. There'll be designers to meet and greet. There'll be shop vendors for you to meet and greet. There'll be floss tubers to meet and greet. There will be designers and vendors to shop from with special exclusive designs and special offers.
I like the sound of that.
Yes, there's exclusives. So you walk away from the weekend having a little dose of Australian talent. And yes, more will be coming. But basically it's going to be really nice because like with the vendors and the designers, you get to see their products and things in person. I do inverted commas because you're on a computer screen.
Yes.
But you get a chance for them to show you what they do, and it just really helps. I mean, it's not as good as seeing the product actually in person where you can touch and feel it, but just for them to have the time to explain to you what they do, how they make their bags, how they make their scissor fobs, how they do whatever it is they do. Plus, I was horrified, and I've said this numerous times on my floss tubes before, to find out that there are people in Australia who don't think there are any Australian floss tubers. And there are heaps of good ones.
So many.
So we're trying to bring them all together to one event so that you can have a smorgasbord to check out, see who you like, because everyone's different.
Yep.
Everyone does different styles, everyone different genres, different things. So you see who you like.
Yeah.
So that is the first one. As I said, I'm scrolling through. Okay, the Glen Innes Autumn Stitch Camp 2025 is being held May 30th to June 1st, and they are presenting a duo designer event. Colorado Cross Stitcher and the Scarlet House.
Oh, what a treat.
I know, I would love to go to that.
I know.
But I can't go because of my family situation. But one day I'll get there.
One day
I'll get there. I mean, Tam does do a very, very good job. She's very thorough and does, fantastic attention to detail and everything that she does. Then we've got the border event, as I said, that I told you about. That's the 28th of February to the 2nd of March, 8 a.m. till 11 p.m. and 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. So it's actually 3 full days down at the border retreat.
So good.
So I'll definitely be travelling down the day before. It's just funny to see what they've got. Air-conditioned venue, on-site restaurant, lunch and dinner, on-site parking, free tea and coffee, great location, light bright workspaces. So there you go, that's funny.
Yeah.
Okay, so somebody's actually posted in September they want us to find a list of all the retreats for 24, 25 and 26, and they're a little bit early for me to make up a magazine. I do try and make a file at the start of each year.
Yes.
On that, but we need a few more things. There is the Daisy Chain Stitching Retreat is September 20 to 22 next year.
When was that?
September 20th to the 22nd. Yes, she's gone back to September, which makes me so much happier because then I've got something in for them.
Yes.
Then, well, I think that's right. I'm confusing people now. Is that next year's dates? I don't know.
When's the next after the when's the next winter stitching in the mountains? You said winter worked well this year.
I know, that is a good question. It will be the last weekend in June.
Ooh.
The last weekend in June for the Stitching in the Mountains retreat.
That's my birthday.
Yes, we have to come. But there is another retreat happening, a new one next year, and it's the Stitches in Winter retreat.
Oh.
Now I'm going to have to try and find that one because I don't think I've got the information on that page. It is a Victorian one, and it is being held. Let me see if I can find anything about it. It's in Ballarat.
Oh, I heard about this
Yes,
one.
in Ballarat. Just seeing if I can find out the dates. It is the 8th to the 10th of August in Ballarat.
Ooh, bring your woolly jumpers.
Definitely, and it's one of the ones that is more affordable. It's only $60.
Oh, wow.
They are currently full, but they do have a wait list.
Right, totally worth putting yourself on the wait list.
Yes, but chilly.
It's chilly, yeah. It's, Ballarat does get snow.
There you go.
And it can be quite, oh yeah, it can be quite unexpected, and yes.
Okay, so that's the information about that one. I was still looking down because there's going to be a very exciting retreat happening down in Tasmania. Do you want to talk about it while I look for the dates?
Oh yes, so when Lisa and I went to the Christmas in July stitching retreat last year for a Stitch in Time, we learned, we were the first to learn of plans for 2025, which is the Hands Across the Sea retreat, and it had been something that a Stitch in Time had been working on and working for and trying to get to happen, and then COVID happened, and it's finally happening.
May 16th to May 18th.
There we go.
2025. Just found it at the right time.
You did.
Mrs. Parkman's Academy of Needlework, One Stitch at a Time, and A Stitch in Time present a retreat at the Grand Chancellor Hotel in Hobart, Tasmania.
Now the Grand Chancellor Hotel is beautiful, and it is in an incredible location in Hobart. It's very, very central. We just talked about a really affordable retreat.
This one's a very
This one
boutique.
is very boutique.
It's $950.
It is not. It is something that you definitely need to save up for,
but it includes
yes,
the organised activities every day from 9 a.m. till 5 p.m.
yes,
and it includes dinner on Friday and Saturday nights, morning tea, lunch and afternoon tea on Saturday and Sunday, and you can stitch till 10 p.m.
Oh, that's really good. It is expensive, but it is also worth it. So what is it for 2 days?
Friday starts at 2:30,
Mm-hmm.
and then and then Saturday, Sunday. So it's 2.5 days.
2.5 days. So we're looking at around about $300 a day. If you budget for $300 a day,
That's pretty good.
it's well, and that doesn't include accommodation.
No, that's not
No.
accommodation, but it
No.
is food.
It is
Apart from
food.
breakfast. And
Yeah.
realistically, when you go on a retreat, seriously, a little bit of cereal or yogurt in your hotel room is all you need.
Exactly.
The morning teas and afternoon teas are usually huge. So if you're not a big
Yeah.
breakfast eater, you can usually hang out to morning tea and then have brunch.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but it will be a really lovely retreat. Unfortunately, the timing isn't going to work for me to go to that. But there are plenty of people who are beyond excited at the prospect of that Heaven and Earth retreat,
Yes.
which is great. So yeah, definitely one to go track down the information and to find out whether or not there's a wait list that's needed for you to join, or if you can put in a deposit. I would say head to the Stitch in Time website.
Yes.
And further information will be there. So that was the Mrs. Parkman's School of Needlework?
Yes.
Yes.
No. And we also, there also the summer Stitching in the Mountains retreat
Yes.
has moved its dates forward to, I think, pretty sure it's the weekend of 16th, 17th November.
Lovely.
We just wanted to move it forward a little bit further away
Get
from
away
Christmas.
from Christmas a little bit, yes.
And with the daisy chain moving forward, then it means that other things can move forward.
Cascade, yeah.
So
because you're very busy for both of those.
I am.
Obviously, you're very busy for the Stitching in the Mountains retreat. That's your special retreat, along with Joanne with Mojo Stitches, and the Daisy Chains is your local retreat.
My local, and I'm happy to support my local as much as I'm allowed to, because it's so close.
Yes.
So it's good, and I really do enjoy the cross stitches in Brisbane. The way they did it this year's perfect, and if they keep doing that way, the only difference is I am going to stay Sunday night somewhere up there, so that I can stay the whole time.
Yeah.
And then pack up and come and stay somewhere on the way home, because but it hasn't been feasible for me to do that this year with my family situation.
Yes.
So hopefully things will pan out. Both Natalie and I have our children in their final years of schooling, and in New South Wales it's called the High School Certificate. So it requires us to have a little bit more focus on them in this stage of their lives.
And rightly so.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. So other things like stitching, even though it's my business, have to go on a slight bit of a shuffle for folk, just for a little while. Yes. And then once they're through, we'll be able to reassess and rejuggle, and I'm sure I'll be able to get to some of these other ones I like to. I really, would like to. But at the moment I have to stick to doing retreats that I am involved in, because that way I can justify the absence from the family at that time for work reasons.
Yeah, fair enough.
All right, so now, as I said, I don't know any more about other retreats at the moment. I know the cross stitches in Brisbane will be happening, but she's looking at the dates. We don't know about the gathering stitches till this one happens. I don't know if the Toowoomba one is planning to happen again or not. I just don't know until people post in the group or we hear through the grapevine. When we do, we will let you know. So exciting times ahead for Australians. I also know there is a birdie whispering about the potential of one in South Australia. Yes, so that's exciting to hear about that. And I honestly have no idea about Western Australia.
No.
There's no reason there can't be a retreat in Western Australia. I think there actually is one, but unless they post in the group, I can't help promote it.
It's not visible to you.
No. So I can only promote what I know. I mean, as people who have known me for a while know that I'm incredibly passionate about promoting the Australian cross-stitching industry. So the more I know, the more I can help get the word out there.
Yeah.
All right, well, we will be possibly giving you a lovely bit of a scenic stitching time next. So enjoy. All right, guys, we arrived in Drouin at about 7:15 p.m. after picking up a really yummy pizza from Jax's Pizza Bar that did gluten-free and let us do a half and half. So I did a satay chicken and Nellie did a supreme. We're in our lovely hotel room, which I will give you a really quick squiz of in a second. But I wanted to show you my stitching for the night, all 113 stitches of it. Can't tell you much more other than it's my last model for my retreat coming up in 2 weeks. So that's what I did. I may or may not get more stitches done on it. So I'm going to show you the room and then see what Natalie's been stitching. All right, we're watching Floss Tube. Jan Hicks Creates on the TV. We've got a very nice clean bathroom, adequate, my bed, Natalie's bed for tonight, the door, and the chair and table where I was stitching. So, Miss Natalie,
Yes.
what are you stitching on? I can see it from here.
Okay, I am stitching on A is for Aardvark by Mojo Stitches. And I had stitched more, but I had to pull it out because I put it in completely the wrong place.
Bummer.
So I had about 100 stitches, and now there is not 100 stitches.
Okay, well, there you go. All right, guys, so that's us done.
Yes.
And we'll see you tomorrow.
Hi everyone.
Hello, good morning.
Here we are. It's Lisa
And Natalie.
and we are on our last day of our retreat road trip down to Drouin, Victoria.
We're on our way home.
And where are we at the moment? What are we doing, Nat?
We are at Bruthen. We've just stopped for coffee. I'm taking the first leg of driving and we are going to be stopping at Can River, Cooma, then Mittagong, and then on to home. What are we doing in Mittagong?
Mittagong's exciting. We're going to an LNS.
Yes, an LNS.
An actual LNS. In fact, it's my favourite LNS from previous years and I haven't been for a while. It's the Victoria House LNS in Mittagong, and there's also a really cool little quilt shop there. So that's our enjoyable stopping for the day.
Yes.
So, and then I'm dropping Natalie off in Sydney and heading all the way home to Maitland. So have enjoyed the drive, guys. We'll be talking to you later. Bye.
guys, so we are coming in out of the town or into the town of Orbost.
We're going to bypass Orbost, but we're now dropping onto the Snowy River floodplain. We're going to see really lush green farmland, which you can probably see now. You can see the mountains up ahead as well. Those are the Snowy Mountains,
Which is
and we've got this beautiful trestle bridge on our left.
Yes, which I will try and get a photo of. Yeah, beautiful old trestle bridges.
Used to be the railway bridge.
Lovely, lovely, lovely.
Lovely, yeah.
Yes, the railway doesn't run through here anymore, and what they've done is they've actually created a
rail trail.
Yeah, rail trail, a recreation path that you can actually go along
on your bike or ride horses along.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not on the old bridges though, because they're really old and not safe.
Unsafe, yeah.
Yes. So we thought you might like a little bit of the footage of this part of the country. The Snowy River area is unique within Australia. We don't get snow generally in much of the country. So the Snowy Mountains are the place where we actually get the snow.
This is the Snowy River.
Yep, we're crossing the Snowy River. There you go. Fantastic.
Yeah. It's got more water in it nowadays. In a few years ago, they introduced environmental releases from the Snowy River dam, where it's dammed right up at its source, up in
It's really Jindabyne.
Yeah, Jindabyne.
Yeah. In fact, they actually flooded the town of Jindabyne to make the dam.
That's right.
So the Jindabyne town got moved, and the actual original town is still under the dam.
Yep.
Which would make really cool diving.
I don't know. It's mostly tents anyway.
Yeah.
It was very, very much temporary housing.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's the turn off to Orbost. Cute little town. Got a great bakery, like most country towns.
Yes.
But we are in Snowy River country, as the sign says.
The man from Snowy River. So our next stop is going to be Can River, because we need to do a quick little video for our Wet Warrior friends.
We do.
The sign you just saw is a typical one on the highways. It's a traffic alert sign that electronically tells you when there's an issue up ahead or on a particular road that you might be heading towards.
That's right.
So that you can plan your travels accordingly.
Yeah.
The good news for us, touch wood, is there was nothing showing on that sign.
Nothing showing, so nothing unexpected
At this stage.
at this stage. So yeah, we just roll along, allow the kilometres to fall underneath the tyres.
Yeah, have a lovely road trip day.
Yep.
Interestingly enough, there, yawning, take a power nap. All along this road there's been signs talking about don't sleep and drive, you know, take a power nap here.
Managing your fatigue while you're driving. We are about 5 hours drive from Melbourne. The roads are narrow and winding, and this is the main road. It goes 100 kilometres an hour, which is about 60, 70 miles an hour. Not really sure of the conversion.
No.
And the danger of fatigue on these roads is enormous, because if you do get into trouble, you're a long way from medical help, and not only that, the economic losses because a main highway has been closed is actually really significant. So
Yes.
making sure that people manage how their fatigue levels are going actually keeps the money flowing through the economy running as well.
That's what it's all about, isn't it? It's always about the money.
Yep, costs far less to prevent an issue than to remediate it. So,
just give you a bit more footage of these gorgeous farmlands. We've got dairy cows down here.
Yeah, that's a dairy.
As well as some pasture. A whole bunch of just beautiful green Snowy River farmlands.
That's right.
It's currently 15 degrees.
15 degrees Celsius.
Yeah. Shame that we've got following caravan. And it's a really cute little...
20 past 8 in the morning.
Yes.
And we're driving into the sun, but it's not too bad.
It's not too bad. We might leave you there for the moment.
Yeah, sounds good.
So this is the actual Cairn River. Nat's heading down to have a look. And it is beautiful. Just a nice little free campground. There's my car. You can see people in their caravans going around to the amenities block, picnic tables, and up to the road. So there you go. Cairn River.
That mountain up ahead.
That is gorgeous.
Isn't it lovely?
And you can still see the
damage from the fire.
The damage from fire. So what fire was this, Natalie, that went through here?
So there've been a couple of fires, but probably the one that this would have been from is the 2019-2020 summer of bushfires, the Black Summer.
Yeah, the really bad one.
Yeah, that occurred just before the pandemic outbreak as well.
Yes, it was not a good year for disasters.
It was a terrible year for disasters. We'll be going through some towns as well that were really badly damaged as a result of the fires as well.
Wow. Yeah, unfortunately that is the flip side to living in the Australian bush.
And especially in this corner of the bush. But it's also accepted that it is part of the cycle of living in such perfect landscape, really.
Yes,
yeah.
And a lot of people don't realise that the bushfires are actually a natural way of the
landscape to regenerate.
Yeah, it's actually something that is expected. Yeah. The eucalypts are actually, I want to say breeded, that's not the right word.
They've evolved.
They've evolved to actually have mechanisms to help with the fact that they are subjected to the fires, to do with the type of bark they've got, and that's one of the reasons we have so many different types of eucalypt.
That's right.
You don't happen to know how many species of eucalypt we have, Nat, do you?
No, I don't. That's an unexpected question.
That's okay. we can look that up when we have Google and let you know that. But it's, it's really a normal thing you expect. So we're just filming this little bit for you because we're about to head across the border.
That's right.
Back from Victoria through to New South Wales.
Yeah.
So can you tell me, during the pandemic, did you happen to cross the border on this road?
No. I don't recall doing it on this road.
I was just wondering what they actually did.
Crossed the border on the Hume.
Yes.
At Albury-Wodonga.
Yes, and that was set up as a big border crossing.
It was a really significant border crossing, and we crossed it as a family when there was an outbreak just starting to happen in Sydney. That was December 2020.
Yeah.
To January 2021. We needed as a family to get COVID tests, to take the swabs, nasal swabs, at either just before or just after, within hours of crossing the border, and then we had to quarantine until we had negative test results returned. We stayed in a COVID quarantine hotel in Melbourne with our dog, so we had to find a dog-friendly hotel, and it was really interesting because it was one of the hotels that the Australian Open for the tennis was about to use. And so it was their first time doing that, and they were essentially practicing on us. They did slip up a few times in their practices.
Yeah.
So
it was all new back then.
It was brand new. It was very experimental. Words.
You were combining experimental and unexpected together, and you came up with...
I came up with a whole new word.
You did. Go Natalie.
Yeah, but we were planning on driving down on one day, and we started getting signals from the department. I was working for the Department of Planning at that stage in a very central organisational role, and
you got a bit of a heads up through the channels.
I did get a bit of a heads up through the channels that there was going to be a border closure between Victoria and New South Wales. Spoke to my manager and said, "What do you think?" And he said, "Go now."
So she did. She got in the car.
So we did. We packed up and we got on the road, and they closed the border about 3 hours behind us.
Wow.
So yeah,
that was amazing.
It was incredible, and it was lovely to be able to spend time with family and know that we were safe. Yeah, we were all clear.
You were all clear, and you were out of the impending.
Oh no, not necessarily.
Because there was plenty down there as well.
Well, there were some cases down there.
Yeah.
But they were keeping it all very well under control in Victoria. But we got the all clear from our test from 3 out of 4 of us within 12 hours. It was just the 4th member of the family, and it took another 24 hours.
Wow.
So it was 36 hours for that last sample.
That test just fell off the pile and fell on the next pile.
No, I don't think so. I think they were what happens is they compare test results between laboratories for quality control to make sure that
and you got one of the samples.
We think one of our samples was used for quality control. It's a really normal thing to happen, and it's good scientific practice.
Oh, definitely. Now, here's the border.
This is our border.
I was just wondering, because I knew it would be in the middle of nowhere. I'm wondering, how did they close
It's
the
not
border?
the middle of nowhere, it's just the border.
It's the border. We're crossing the border back into New South Wales. It's about as fun as you get in Australia, is crossing the borders. Crossing the state borders. There you go. We've got 133 kilometres to go before lunch, which will get us having a nice early lunch at about 20 to 12. So we'll probably catch up with you then. You might get a bit more, you will get a bit more travel viewing now, because we're going up into the snowies, and as we head towards Cooma, you get to see the change in landfall to the actually more the
Monaro High Plain.
The Monaro High Plains. There you go.
Not the Monaro, the Monaro.
Yes, okay.
Local knowledge.
Local knowledge there. Yep. How to say the words. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Probably see it, but right on top of the Snowy Mountains, oh, there's a nice bit of dirty windscreen.
Yeah.
Right where I'm going, there is snow on the top of them there mountains that we can't see at the moment. Hold on, I'll come back in a minute. Yeah, right over there. Can you see the snow?
We've had some cold weather.
We have, but you know, we are in summer.
Yeah.
Well, no, we're still in spring officially.
Yeah.
But we're heading very close to summer. Speaking of filming, we're coming into Cooma.
Yes.
Cooma is like the main town in the New South Wales Snowy Mountains.
Okay.
It's the biggest town. It's like the main point where you can get all the services and things. If anything happens in the Snowy Mountains in New South Wales, you end up going to Cooma.
Before you go further afield.
But generally this is the first port of call. There's the hospital, you know, little hospital, there's all the main shops.
And if you're going up to the snow, this is where you come to hire your snow gear.
Yes, this is where you can get your skis and everything, as well as other places along the way closer. So we just thought we'd shoot you this, and also because we got chopped off before telling you that we were up the top of the Great Dividing Range.
That's right.
So we're still on the Great Dividing Range, but it was more up the top where we were before when you just saw this 2 seconds ago. So this is the lovely spring in Cooma. And we are going to be stopping at a petrol station to fill up and stock up and have our lunch
have lunch first.
Yes, but that's what we're generally going to be doing here in Cooma.
Yes.
Before we head up to the next place, and the next stop we hopefully will be making will actually be the exciting shop of the drive.
Yeah.
So that's where we are. We're going to come around the roundabouts. The regional council office there, it's right in front of you.
Yeah.
And then we're at the main juncture of the Snowy Mountains Highway
Yeah.
and the Monero Highway. Look at that, I got it right.
You got it right. Well done.
So it's pretty when we turn around.
Yeah.
Oh, is that?
We'll stop there.
Yeah, is that our policeman?
No.
Anyway.
Maybe it was. Who
Anyway,
knows?
he didn't have a problem for us to do. So we're going across to the park, and we're going to have a quick bite to eat in the park, just opposite a service station. So that's fantastic. Just have to find where you can park.
Yeah. We'll find a spot.
Find a spot, and we'll catch you later. Well, our last stop is the lovely Victoria House Needlecraft. Fantastic stall in Mittagong.
Beautiful little store.
So many different cross-stitch designs. I found a Country Threads one that I was so tempted by, and Natalie was looking at all the beautiful memorabilia. So come and check it out sometime when you're passing through Mittagong, guys. Well worth the look.